On Fifth Gear, we're bringing you an exclusive insight into a story revolves around 45-year-old father of three and property developer Frank Mountain, a car nut just like you and me. Except unlike you and me, he's about to buy Michael Schumacher's Formula One car. Everyone preparing customer cars has a background with the F1 team. Chief engineer Andrea Gaglietti used to look after Rubens Barrichello and Eddie Irvine. The idea is you get F1 expertise to personally set up your car. The 2001 chassis handles particularly well and is ideal for the novice, but the seat and controls need to be fine-tuned to your tastes. The first seat Frank tried belonged to Rubens Barrichello, but that was too wide because
Barrichello has a big arse.
You heard it here first. So then he tried Michael Schumacher's seat. You can tell it's his because it's lined with gold, like a throne. Except this was too small.
Problem. Done? No.
Which must mean Michael has a tiny bottom. The solution was for Frank to have his own personal seat moulding. It's quick setting, so you need to make sure you're sitting comfortably. The mixture expands like foam. You need to ensure it oozes into every nook and cranny to create a perfect mould. Everything in Formula One has this bespoke specialist feel. You even need an expert to adjust the wing mirrors.
Molto bene now.
Indeed, in order to run the car at various demonstration races around the world, Frank is having to send his own mechanics out to the factory for training. However, mastering the complex steering wheel and the controls is down to Frank himself. There are nearly 40 buttons managing different aspects of the car's systems. The 3,000-page manual comes with a crib sheet, but we asked the man who used to brief Irvine to brief you.
Hi Fifth Gear, this is the Formula One steering wheel of the 2001 car, which will be driven by Frank Mountain. It can adjust the traction control setting. It can adjust the differential electronic system by these two rotary switches. It can change engine braking, high speed, low speed, manage the clutch using these two levers, and it can upshift and downshift by this lever. Yeah.
On top of that, there's buttons for neutral, the launch control, and things like the fuel mix, rev limiter, and various sensors around the car. Modern drivers prefer to solve small problems via the steering wheel rather than a pit stop, and the best can use it all with barely a glance. But Schumacher demanded even more for his later cars. A mind-boggling system of selectors lets him fine-tune the settings for one corner while he's driving through another. It's vastly different to the wheel from just a decade ago.
We are talking about 10 years of technology. It looks like 100.
The most important control of all is still the throttle, though, and naturally, it isn't straightforward.
If you look down at the pedals, Schumacher runs what they call a long accelerator pedal. The reason why he does that is he can balance the car better. So the power comes in gradually and on a longer pedal. Barrichello's completely opposite. His throttle actually starts about here, then it comes in massively. So he has a very fine line before the power band really comes in. Two different driving techniques. Didn't know anything about that. No one, I think, understands it when you're looking at these cars going around until you actually sit in one. I'm sticking with the Schumacher one because I think that's going to suit my driving style a lot better.
But before he gets to drive it tomorrow, he needs to sign the contract. And you don't do big bucks deals without first checking the small print.
It's just, they'll do a buyback on the car within 30 days. I'm not allowed to sell it to anyone unless I offer it to them first, but I have to receive their consent, not reasonably withheld. I have to give them use of the car for F1 publicity and promotional purposes, basically at their cost. I'm not allowed to change the livery of the car, and of course it's a law applying to this contract is Italian law. It means if you have a problem, it's a bigger problem.
That didn't put Frank off, and in the finest tradition of Italian business, it was signature, champagne...
Congratulations, welcome to the family, yeah?
Thank you very much.
...and dinner. They take you to Schumacher's favourite restaurant. The Montana has a proud history of feeding Ferrari's most important clients and drivers, who all sign napkins to leave a memento. And because when you buy an F1 car you become part of the family, Frank had to sign too. But stay off the champers, Franco. Tomorrow is driving day. And what a place to have your first drive of an F1 car. The emotive Fiorano, Ferrari's private test track, stamping ground of legendary road car test driver Dario Bonuzzi and his F1 counterpart Luca Badoer.
Hi, Fifth Gear, and welcome to Fiorano.
A lap in a challenge Stradale takes 1 minute 27 and Enzo 1:25, but an F1 car does it in just 55 seconds.
The most important thing is remember to brake on the end of the stride, because the speed is very high, and you know, Formula One is not a real car. I think is a airplane with the wheels.
Badoer's presence increased the pressure. How did Frank feel about such distinguished company?
I hope he doesn't watch, because I don't think I'm not intending to be quicker than him.
We'll see about that. It was time to drive. As he got in, one of the mechanics told him just to float in the pressure. You've been building up to this moment all your life. Perhaps inevitably, he stalled. Frank teetered around at first, but he wasn't doing too badly, given that 14 months ago he didn't even have a race licence. Although Badoer left satisfied his test driving job was safe, Frank's times came down, and he was thrilled to achieve a 1 minute 30, equal to the lap record of a Ferrari 360.
I've just done what they all do, and we watch on a box every couple of weeks during the summer. And I tell you, if you get one chance in life, you've got to have a go in one of these.
The excitement continued. After downloading data from the car, they discussed where he could go quicker on his second drive. Now, an F1 engine is a 200 mile an hour, 18,000 RPM, highly strung thoroughbred.
No gears.
And the moment it detects something untoward, will shut down into a safe mode to protect itself. But this hiccup didn't spoil Frank's day. The repair would take 2 hours, time Frank didn't have, as Ferrari's jet was waiting to take him to his other new toy, a Le Mans team. But first, an important call.
Hello, Mum. Yeah. Just got round very safely, no problems. I spoke to Sally earlier, so she knows it's all okay. What have I been doing? I've just been driving Schumacher's car. But actually, now it's mine. It's my car. Yes, I bought it. It's mine. No, it used to be his, but now it's mine.